We are live. We are direct with one of the finest to ever use the whiteboard. I'm not saying that lightly. Wow, in the building we got Shanna, Fujiru. How are you doing, sister? Speak to me.
I am amazing. I'm doing so great. I feel so good today.
Wow,
And just overall, just more confident in what I'm doing.
100%. And, you know, my ads partner was saying, look, we need Shanna, we need her on the ads. Like that dress is really, but that's the same thing that I said to you. Like in terms of when I first saw that photo shoot, I thought this is not AI. This cannot be AI. This has got the real feel to it. Let them know what you do, who you serve in that regard.
Yeah, so I am a relationship coach. I serve couples that are walking through times where they're just thinking that they're just missing on communication. I help them reveal the pattern of what's causing it underneath, and then we regulate and we rewire to heal those places so that you can build the relationship and life that you want and actually embody the truth of who you are.
Perfect. Cool. So let us know. You hopped into the whiteboard system and everything like that. But first, let's maybe lean into why did you feel like it was a system to lean into? So yeah, why did you feel like let me step into this to learn about
I think I was in a unique position. I was moving from a partnership to a solo ship and was really rebranding, hence all the pictures that you're talking about. I did a full rebranding shoot and really wanted to step into what my niche was, but in a different way. And so, Jay, you showed up at the right time. I also wanted to increase my prices because I began to realize like what I do is priceless, to be honest. It
yes.
changes lives tremendously and sets people on a path of just excellence and being able to step into their authentic self that we all try to do it on our own. And when we have a coach that knows what they're doing, it helps us walk into that. And so I felt immediately when we talked that this was the thing that I needed to do. I do believe that opportunities show up in the time that I'm supposed to receive them. And this is what it was. It was the best opportunity for what I was wanting to do. And so I was like, heck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that you're a straight shooter and you know what you want. And that's extremely powerful. And I've always said to you that with your skill set, I think you could coach anything, health, nutrition. You could be a yoga coach, anything that you want, right? Because you've got the skill set, you've got the embodiment, and all of the things. You lean into getting a VA for your first event. Let us know about how it went with the VA for that first event and why it was useful to have this full-time lead generation assistant working in your business.
Well, first of all, I was busy doing a lot of back office things to get ready for the workshop. So I didn't have time to do all of the cold calling or warm calling or just checking in on people. And my VA was amazing. She jumped in and she was knocking out those messages and sending me a message if there was something that I needed to step in and say, but mostly she handled it. And she got me a list of everybody that was going to come, and she showed up to the workshop. She helped work things out behind the scene. She sent everybody the replay. Like she did so much that I would have spent hours upon hours upon hours trying to figure out and do. And she was able to do that and allowed me some time with my family, in the time that I was trying to build this workshop. So I loved it. It was amazing.
Nah, powerful. I think you guys make a very powerful combination. I know I popped onto the call, and what was so good was being able to hop onto a call without having to wear my wig or go in covert. You're like, guys are allowed inside here. And I think what was so powerful is when you was coaching, there was a gentleman that you were coaching, and it sent a shiver down my spine. It's like, yes, we need more men doing this work, correct? We need more men doing this work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about in a relationship, there's two people. And oftentimes there's one man and one woman. And so if just one person's working on the relationship, it can be difficult and it can be frustrating. But yeah, I love that what I do works really well with men. My husband's gone through this process. He's a changed man because of it. our relationship is 1,000 times better because we're both aware of those limiting beliefs that we had, those patterns that we showed up in, and being able to work together on the same page and know that you're on the same team is so powerful. So yeah, men are absolutely invited.
100%. Let me know this question. There's a renaissance, I think, in the United States of women who are wanting to do their own thing and sell to the level that they're worth. What's your feeling on women needing to learn how to sell, charge what they're worth, really embrace that word called sales as service and spiritual?
Yeah, I love this question because I think women fall into two traps. One is emotional. So we lead by emotions, and when we hear people say no, or we hear the maybe even the just the things that they're coming up with that are their problems, we lean into that too much and we don't stay as coach. And then also sometimes we move it too much into the masculine where we're trying to be someone we're not instead of really finding that place in the middle of your authentic coaching way. I mean, how would you normally coach somebody through a block? Or how would you normally coach somebody through a situation where they're bouncing back and forth, not being clear and having clarity about what they want? And so I think sales has become this, it was a scary word for me, honestly. I would get on a sales call and I would love the part where we were connecting, but I would hate the part where I was going to give them my investment price. And I would just freak out like, oh, you said yes, or oh, you said no, instead of ready to just step into that coaching mode. Once, if you expect somebody to say no, then you're not caught off guard when they say no. And most people are going to say no first because listen, hey, we're scared. We're scared of something new. We're scared of putting ourselves first. We're scared of, investing in ourselves for the first time and fearing that it's not going to work. And so that's where a coach steps in and really you coach them through that process to find out what is the reason for the why. And so I think the way that you've taught me, Jay, is open me up to where I no longer have fear of no. I can step into that objection part and really coach them through it. Where if ultimately they say no, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I know that I coach them through that and they at
Yeah,
least made a decision out of truth instead of fear.
100%. And we know that yes lives in the land of no. So we are okay with no. I think one of my mentors, once told me, okay, Jay, how much is your program price? Okay, I said like 5K for example. And they said, all right. So how many clients do you need how many calls do you need to take before you get a yes? I said, 5 calls sometimes. Okay. So each no is worth $1,000. So if you see it like that, then just collect those no's. Because those no's will eventually lead to a yes, and don't be disheartened if someone's not right for the program because yes lives in the land that we can't separate them. Just like we can't separate life and death, morning and night, winning and losing. We can't separate the two. So that's that. We're
That's
gonna
really
see
good.
now. Sorry, you were saying?
I would say that's really good that every no has a dollar amount to it. So that helps you to want more no's to get to the yes. I love that perspective.
Yes. We're gonna see some of your amazing whiteboard work here, just like laying out, and what I like about yourself is that you do not overthink. You just dig in and, just, enter into the whole element of, so what did you like kind of get in terms of the results in advance? And what I like now is that you've made it your own in terms of pushing this up, then pushing this down, and then everything like that. Yeah, let's connect about the results in advance.
Yeah, so I was able to take where someone is feeling in their relationship, help them be honest about what their feelings are in the moment, and then help them also dream a little bit to see
Yeah,
what's not there that they want to be there, which is that other part. And then in the middle, I help them to figure out why they're not showing up in that desired state. And through that, there's usually some limiting belief, something that we're telling ourselves why we can't or why it's impossible to do that. And then helping to reframe that where they can see that actually that's not absolutely true. What absolutely could be true is something different. And usually it's the opposite of that. But I help them through that process. But I love the whiteboard method because it's giving people an opportunity to see what they feel, see what they want, which, it absolutely changes the way someone engages with information.
No, that makes complete sense. And like with this, I've never seen a Canva presentation just like this makes me want to buy. You know what I mean? I very well might be your next client. You know what I mean? It's just this is yeah. So tell me about this Canva and how it felt to kind of create this because it's such a movie. Yeah, tell us about this. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
movie. Yeah,
yeah, I enjoyed creating it because everything that I teach, everything that I coach on is something that I've gone through myself. I'm a previously divorced woman who remarried later in life. And even when I got remarried, there was still some healing parts that need to take place. So I healed in a relationship, which is why I help people do the same thing. And so it was really helpful to even for me to get that out on paper to see it myself so that I could step into more of an understanding the embodiment of what I've gone through. I think sometimes when we have come from a place, we kind of forget how we got there. And so it was really helpful for me. And I love showing people what's possible. I love, you know, modeling, the work that I've done to let them know that it's possible for them too. I'm not special. I just was willing to do the work.
nah, and I think it's being willing to do the work and being willing to reinvent at every single stage. I think is so important. Talk to me about this because I think it's the four T's that just helps to map out the vision where they want to be and things like this. So yeah, speak to me about this.
Yeah, so the four T's are really instrumental in finding out exactly what your potential client is wanting, where they're at, and how long they've been there, and what those feelings are. What are those pain points? And then it's really important to figure out like what's going to happen if they don't do this, like
Yeah.
really find that trigger place. For me, being a relationship coach, oftentimes it's divorce or it's separation. And so that's kind of where we go. And then to help them map out, like, what would my life look like if I could heal all these places that are broken in my life? And then to find out, what have they tried? What have they tried that works? What have they tried that doesn't work? So that you can then highlight how what you're providing is different than what they've tried and hasn't worked. So it's really a cool tool to be able to see what's going on within them, but then let them see what's going on within them as well.
No, that's making sense. Some might be saying to you, Shanna, hey, look, what happens when they say it's too expensive? Especially because you're not a get money coach. Like, so it's like, all right, Jay, it's all good, like business coach, but I'm a divorce coach. I'm a relationship coach. I'm a marriage coach. How do I deal with this? Is to have not got the money. Let them know how you are successfully navigating that in practice. But most importantly, you're navigating that with your prospects who are becoming clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, first of all, I really tap into that feeling of what they're feeling now versus where they want to be. And then I talk about what happens in the middle if they stay in this place of the negative feelings of disappointment, disconnection, all of that, and the cost associated with inaction. So that's a really important piece.
Mhm.
But I help them understand that, hey, I get it that maybe it's more in your price range, but I bring it back around to have them answer, would they do this with me if money wasn't the issue? And
Ooh,
almost always they say yes. And
ooh.
then that allows us into a conversation of where I can kind of lead them into what it is that they're wanting and remind them of these things that we talked about, the trigger and the target. And, and really bring it back. So I would say when you're a relationship coach, a marriage coach, you're selling feeling, you're selling a desire, you're selling a future want. Very similar to a business coach selling what's perspective for that month. And so I think if you position it, if you're good at what you do, you can position it in a way where actually it's more valuable
Yeah,
than dollars.
100%. I know in training, you kind of hit me with a line. Look, Jay, look, what's more expensive, the program or the potential divorce that you were speaking about? And then it was game over, sold. Gone once, gone twice, sold. That was it.
Yeah.
Briefly, not the right time, because people might say this. How are you going to navigate? Hey, Shanna, look lovely. Not the right time.
Yeah, this one to me is really easy because we go back to how long has it been going on?
Oh,
Typically that's been, enough time to where they even made the call with me.
yeah.
And then I talk about, okay, so if now's not the right time, if we look 6 months into the future, where do you think you're going to be in
Oh,
6 months?
good.
And oftentimes they can see that it's going to get worse because if it's
Oh,
not, we're not working on making it better, and the stuff that we've tried by ourselves isn't working, then we're kind of stuck in this place of just getting worse and worse and worse. So I asked them, when do they think would be the right time, to be honest, and just point blank, like I'm really good about just like, okay, if now's not the right time in 6 months, where are you going to be? So when would be the right time? And most of the time it's pretty clear that now's the right time.
now is the right time. And I love the fact that you lay out that, hey, it's not to be taken personally, but it's human to have the fear that comes up and people might not want to commit. And how do you deal with, I need to think about it?
Mm. Yeah, so I would ask them, what, after I've gone through some of the objections, one of the things I would ask them is, so what about this program that I have, showed you, do you feel like is right for you to
Yeah.
fix your
Yeah.
problem? And then have them talk about, obviously, what about me is good for them and why they're
Mhm.
ready. And so after I've gone through that, I would ask them, okay, what is it that you need to think about exactly?
Ooh. Mm. Yeah.
And then
Look,
let them
you've
answer.
told me it's the best program. You've told me it's the best process. You've told me I'm the best person. You told me you're the best personality. So what specifically do we need to think about here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. This one might come up, might not come up. I know it comes up in business coaching, maybe less so in relationship coaching. You might correct me on that. You know, I've had a mentor or I have a mentor. How would you deal with, I've tried the therapy stuff, or I tried this,
Yeah.
or yeah, and it's not worked. How would you do
Yeah.
it?
I would say mentor doesn't usually come up, but I have had therapy or a therapist.
Therapy, yeah.
And so I'll just ask them about, usually if that comes up, they tell me what has and hasn't worked. And if they've done therapy for a long amount of time, which a lot of people have, then I'll say, but you still have this same trigger coming up. You still have the same, problem that presents itself, and just help them to see back actually with one of the activities is, do you see the limiting belief that's happening there? Do you see the belief that's stopping you? Has therapy helped you get to that? And so just really putting it back on, is that working for you in a way that is kind and gentle, but still to the point of, has that been working for you, and how working with me is different?
Yeah, amazing. And plus with the whiteboard system, it's like that what hasn't worked and we've repositioned what, you know, we do that does work. So therapy didn't work, but we work on removing the subconscious blocks, etc. And the last objection, this is probably going to be one of the most, because they're going to try and fob you off with this. Hey, Shanna, got to speak with my husband. Got to speak with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do
So
that?
I would start off with saying, husband aside, is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to do this?
Yep.
And so, no, I just want to talk to my husband. Okay, so how would you, how would you pay for this? Like, what's your plan to pay for this program when your husband says yes? I would say when, not if. And so they would then tell me, oh, we're just going to pay cash. We're going to pay with credit card, or, I don't know. That's one thing I need to talk to him about. So you get more information to find out where you need to go with this.
Nice.
And if it becomes a money objection, then I would go through the money objections. If it's no, we would just pay for it. We have the money. And I said, okay, so how would your husband want you to show up more yourself and more connected to him, maybe have more intimacy? Would your husband like that? So I'd bring up the things that we talked about to help them understand really what it is that they want to talk to their husband about. I mean, the truth is there are some women that when I go through this whole thing, they're still going to want to talk to their husband. They're still going to need to have that time with him. Fine. So what I'm going to ask him at the end is, okay, so what would you tell your husband about this program? So I'm going to have them sell me like they would sell their husband so that I can answer any questions that they have at that point, so that when they go talk to their spouse, they sound like they know what they're talking about. They sound like they know what they're being sold, and they have more commitment and more confidence in what they're saying instead of being talked out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, making sure that they've got the conviction and everything like that, I think is powerful. And what are the main two things that you have learned on this program? What are the two things where you think, okay, that's been a great insight, and that's been another good insight?
The first thing was don't be afraid of no. They was really embrace it, expect it. So that was a big one. The other thing is I was one of those women who would sometimes get caught up in the stories that people tell me of, like, I don't have money at home, or paycheck to paycheck, and I would forget what I bring. I would forget how I could change their life. And so that was the other thing that has been really powerful for me, is to stay the ground, stay as a coach. Don't become the therapist. Don't become the best friend. Don't try to have them like you. Just be a coach. And so that's really helped me stay focused on these calls where, I can hear that, but I'm not going to hear it and change my perspective, because what I bring is going to be ultimately life-changing for them, where they'll no longer ever live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. And as experts, we create magic that filters out into all areas, in their health, in their wealth, and relationships as well. And so it's that knock-on effect. It's the multiplier effect. And ultimately, we all know situations of people that just want to get out of their house and stay away for as long as possible, and then I've got to go back here. And then there's Groundhog Day. But so you're helping them make their work life a carnival, home life a carnival, intimacy life a carnival, by removing some of the stories and the blogs, stopping them from living in that state of growth and understanding, which I think is powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What would you tell anyone thinking about using the whiteboard methodology and the whiteboard workshop to communicate their value, to sign clients for high ticket?
I would say this: don't do it if you're not an expert in your field, because you already need to be an expert. You have to know where you're at. And so I'd say, first of all, this is just for the experts.
Ooh.
And then
I like that. So if you've taken a course last week, it's
no, it's not for you.
Get some reps. Get some reps done first.
Yeah. But I would say positioning yourself, having your stuff, and already having your coaching business or your business that you're selling, that this is going to beautifully elevate you into a space where no one's doing this. No one is spending time creating results and value to this degree before you even talk about the sale. I can remember being on a call with Jay, and I was like, why are you doing this? Like, what do you want from me? You're not asking for anything from me. Like, I asked him for the sale. I was like, how much are you? Tell me what I need to do. And so that's what he teaches you. He teaches you to be somebody that brings ultimate value. He shows you how to do it in a way that's yours, in a way that you could show up and just be different. And different is what wins these days. How many people are selling something online or selling a package, selling a coaching session, selling, a workout or, whatever. But you want to be different. You want to stand out in the crowd. And this is really a way to stand out. I think the whiteboard method is genius. And I was just telling my husband the other day, I am so grateful that we said yes.
Amazing. And yeah, I love people that challenge and people that really go deep with their work. And I just want to honor you for really embodying, and I need you to do more photo shoots. Really, yeah. I think more photo shoots, more of that live, because I think you've got a real knack of embodying. So, thank you for showing up and really leading from the front and attending all the trainings and really helping others in the community as well. It's been amazing.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah. Let them know who you're serving and how they can get in contact with you to, connect regarding your services.
Yeah, so I serve couples, like I said, or people that want to be in a relationship and just feel like they need that extra help to get back online with revealing the patterns and regulating and rewiring their nervous system, healing the places, and then rebuilding your life, rebuilding your relationship, being able to embody who you truly are. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook, name Shanna Fougeroux. You just put this in the search bar, you'll find me, and I'd love to connect with you.
Wow. What an amazing time it's been. Shanna Fougeroux in the cyber building. Wow. You still got that Hawaii glow, my sister. Aloha. You still got that Hawaii glow. Thank you ever so much to your success. More growth, more life.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's it.
We'll see you later.
We'll see you later.